user by the name of Vaporwave Slave on Twitter responded to my tweet that said, "Someone give me something to talk about." He asked for me to talk about my favorite music, and I felt like that wouldn't be any fun to just straightforwardly tell my favorite kind of music. I felt like it would be better to just make a list of 10 songs I like, so you can kind of come to your own conclusions about what type of music I listen to. Plus, I really just enjoy making lists like this. Let me mention, I kept every selection in this list to one song per artist, so you don't get just all Avril Lavigne or Nickelback or Rob Zombie. I love those artists a lot, but I also want to share amazing songs from other music artists I like, for the sake of variety. So, I used to not be a really big fan of Imagine Dragons. I thought Imagine Dragons was a joke. Then I heard this song on the radio, and I loved it so much that I went to Spotify and listened to it on repeat later, and ended up just binge listening to all the other Imagine Dragons songs, and I started to grow a love for the Imagine Dragons. This song is just one of those songs where I can't explain why I like it, I just do. A lot. I love this song so much. Godsmack is such a talented band. I love their music so much. I honestly just found this song in my YouTube recommended one day, and I thought, wow, that's interesting. I'll give it a listen. And just, this song is amazing, especially the first part of it. It just sends chills up my spine, and I love the feeling I get when I listen to this song. So, when I made this list, I just knew I had to put a Michael Jackson song on this list, because I adore his works. I was thinking I could put Smooth Criminal, Beat It, or Thriller on this list, but after some long thoughts, I decided Man in the Mirror would be the most deserving to be on this list, because I love the message it delivers. It's about a man who notices he needs to make a change to the world, but to enable himself to do good for the world, he should work on becoming a better person himself, so he can make the difference he wants to make in the world. And that is so powerful, because sometimes, to change the world, we need to just do that. Stare at the person in the mirror and work on bettering ourselves. So, after doing some more research on this song, I found out that this song was actually originally from the Beatles, and that this is just a cover of it. I like the cover a lot better, though. Now, hear me out. I'm not saying I dislike the original. The original version is just fine. But I feel like, just in general, Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson's version I can't speak, heck, why does this always happen? Version was a modern version, and their version versus, in comparison to the Beatles version, really shows the development of music throughout time, and comparison-wise, throwing the nostalgia out from the original to the side here, Rob Zombie's version is definitely better. So, now that we've gotten that out of the way, I'm just going to say I really do love this track, in case you couldn't tell. Rob Zombie is one of the most great metal artists that I know of, and with Marilyn Manson in the track, it's unstoppable. You know that when Marilyn Manson is featured in a song, that the track is going to be really good. Another example being Bad Girl, where Marilyn Manson was featured alongside Avril Lavigne, and they also work great together. I love this track so much, like, beyond any words. It is so amazing, and I highly recommend it. Eminem is my favorite hip-hop artist, and in my head, he really sets the precedent for what hip-hop artists should be. Eminem is always so expressive in his music, and his songs are so good. But if you ask me to tell you a song by Eminem that really hits home, it would be this song, Stan. Stan is about a fan who has an extremely unhealthy obsession with his idol, most likely rooted off of mental illnesses like depression and anxiety. He resorts in Slim Shady's music because the situations in the music are similar to things that has happened in his life. After 2 or 3 notes, without his idol sending a note back, he gets on the road and commits suicide with his pregnant girlfriend tied in the back seat of the car by driving drunk off the side of the road and drowning in a river. This song is beyond real and can bring light to how dangerous it is for someone with a mental illness to go untreated. In a way, Stan didn't know that how I was coping by cutting and obsessing was dangerous because he didn't have any counseling, and he was never taught any healthy ways to cope with it. The song gets really real when Slim Shady finally starts to write back, and then realizes at the end of writing the letter that his biggest fan had committed suicide, realizing he was too late to save Stan or to help him. This is so real in the sense that sometimes we're too late. Sometimes we can't help someone soon enough. And the best we can do is know we would have if we knew there was a problem sooner, but you're still stuck with that guilt for not acting or doing something sooner, and we often blame ourselves for not being able to. Something like that really hits a person hard. I know I may be a bit biased since I grew up listening to Owl City, but I love them so much. Owl City is such a talented group of artists, and I love them. However, I really love this song, mostly from the nostalgia since this song was on the hits radio when I was little. The song was also a meme last year, and I kind of forgot it existed until it was a big meme last year, and when it became a meme, it reminded me of that song, and I'm just like, oh, so this is what happiness sounds like. So, in case you could not tell by my Twitter, I'm a huge fan of this song. Prince was a musical legend, and I really wish he were still alive so I could go to one of his concerts. I'm really sad I don't have the chance to do that now, but his legacy lives on with all his music. Also, did you know that this song was actually released in 1982? So, it was like a month after my ex dumped me, and I was alone sitting in the car, and I heard this song, and the lyrics seemed like they were speaking to me because it had been so rough for me going through this breakup, and I still struggle to this day, and embarrassingly enough, it's 15 months later. When I listen to this song, I'm reminded that sometimes saying goodbye is just a second chance, and that a second chance is something you should take advantage of. It's hard to leave someone or something you love behind, but sometimes when you leave that thing behind, it's a new chapter of your life, a chance to start over, and maybe better things will come to you. It's so amazing when you listen to a song that makes you feel less alone. This song, like Second Chance, is a song I can listen to in the hard times and be reminded that things are going to be okay. The way the message of this song is delivered is so powerful and just is a funny way of saying, hey, you're cared about. You can't die today. I'm reaching out to you. Sometimes I just cry when I hear this song, and when I need to hear something reassuring, I turn on this song. I remember some nights I've listened to this song on repeat when I can't sleep or I have too much on my mind. Before we go into the first one, here's our honorable mentions. Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Candy Shop by 50 Cent. It Wasn't Me by Shaggy. Courtesy Call by Thousand Foot Crunch. And Paralyzer by Finger 11. So, of course, the song I put on the top of the list is sung by Queen Avril. There's no surprise there. Avril Lavigne is such a talented, beautiful artist, and she's honestly such a trooper. With her battle through Lyme disease and 90% of her comment section on YouTube being Avril is dead, we know this is her stunt double. Like, back off. Avril is alive, and she's back to releasing bops like she always has. I'm really glad Avril Lavigne is back. She has made such a great comeback. I could continue going on about how wonderful and powerful this lady is, but let's get to the point. This song is awesome, it has a sick beat, and though a lot of people complain about Nicki Minaj's part in the song, I love it. I love everything about this song, and I love Avril as always. So, that was my list of my top 10 favorite songs. I'm going to link all the songs mentioned here in the description, and for Helter Skelter, I'm going to post both the original and the Zombie and Manson version, and you can comment below which one you like better. Personally, I'm always going to prefer the zombie version, but if you like the original, that is 100% valid. My mind most definitely might change in the future, but as for now, this is my top 10 list. This was a really hard list to make because I love so many songs, and I love these artists so much.